pronounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
We are here with the live show with my man, the Ant-Man. What's going on, Ant-Man?
I'm doing good, thanks, Mike. Hope you are as well. We're but a few weeks away from the NFL. I've got college football this weekend. I'm doing great, mate. Football season is almost back up on us.
Nice, folks. These are not glasses. These are just the blue light glasses because of the computer. So I don't actually wear glasses. They're good to go. What's up, everybody in the chat? We got Shift, God, James, Janella, Kyle Defoe. Let's see. Lisa Del Renzo, of course, Buddy. Knito, Chrome. We got Keitho. Another one. Nope. Alone Wolf 21. And Michael McDermott. What's up, everybody? And Buddy coming in here. So the Lions just signed a linebacker, the Ant-Man. You want to talk about this linebacker? I just released a video on it, so I'll let you go.
Yeah, as I said earlier, a lot of linebackers coming in at the moment. I just think, I don't think we're going to see any of them on the roster, right? We've got our five. We've got our starting five. We've not really seen any of them play in the preseason because, they don't really need to. I know Rodrigo's been hurt a bit, but yeah, we've had a lot of guys come in and go in. It's a position we need to fill just, for the preseason games. So I don't really expect a great deal, to be fair. I think our roster spots, as far as the linebackers, are pretty much sealed up at the moment.
Yeah, his name is Joey Debo. He had 1,300 snaps throughout his tenure, primarily used on special teams. 28 years old. I think he's had like 31 combined tackles, 26 solo tackles, and they're 0 interceptions, I think 1 forced fumble. So this guy is going from team to team to team, but he has a lot of experience only on special teams, and that's for the coverage there, where the coverage stinked. I think he's a camp body. That is my personal opinion on that one. He'll probably be cut, in a week or two? So that's what I'm going with right now.
Yeah, I mean, roster cut down is this time? Are we on Tuesday? This time next week, they'll be announcing it all, won't they? So kind of fun. We're getting to the point now where it all matters. We'll find out who the 53 are, and whoever it is, it's going to be a damn good team that's going to win the NFC North this year. So
DJ Reader spoke about his injury, said he's feeling pretty good. He doesn't know the return and times table. He had a scope done in June because he wasn't feeling the greatest. So he's feeling better. Do you think that DJ Reader is going to be available to go week 1 in about 3 weeks versus the Rams on Sunday Night Football?
I mean, Dan's just said in his press conference that they're hoping to get him going on Sunday. Whether that gives him enough time, because that'll be about 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks until the Rams game. So my feeling is we're probably not going to see that much of him in the first few weeks. And then sort of when the bye's done and dusted, he'll probably be back up and running fully. But I think we may see a bit of rotation before then just to deal with, because he's obviously been out a while. It's a serious injury. You don't want to rush him back and injure him long term and screw him up for the season. So I think those first 4 games especially, we're just going to go light with him, use him as and when need be. Hopefully we get a few blowouts at home where we don't have to use him. So, but yeah, that's what I think.
I concur with you. I think that he'll probably get selected amount of snaps week 1. And just like you said, slowly worked him towards football shape because he hasn't been in training camp to get in that football shape. And he's a bigger guy. It's not like he's 180 pounds. We're talking 330 pounds. So it's going to take him a little bit of time to get in that NFL shape. But I do like the fact that he is going to be starting to at least get moving on Sunday, right? It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be out there in full pads or anything like that, but at least they're getting this man started. And I think he'll play week 1. I just don't know the amount of snaps with you. It's going to be a selected amount of snaps. And when he's not on the field, though, then you got a man called Levi Nwuzurike. Do you believe the hype about Levi Nwuzurike? Can he step in and be a real impact player? He's also playing on the edge as well.
Yeah, I think he can be. I mean, to be honest, for him, it's put up or shut up this year. He can't really afford to have a bed-in period because we kind of need to know what we've got with him now. So I think it's just going to be in terms of he'll go hell for leather, and we'll see him quite a bit. But I'm also confident that Broderick's ready to go in the rotation as well. And I think that Mekhi can also maybe rotate in there a little bit. So I think we've got a nice rotation of 3 whilst, to pick the slack up for DJ Reader and to give Aleem a rest as well. So I'm not unduly concerned if we have to wait for him a little bit or not. Like I say, 3 of these first 4 games we've got are at home. Hopefully, we're able to take advantage of that, put ourselves in some good positions where we don't have to use these guys up and play them too much. But I think between Levi, Broderick, and Mekhi, we've got a nice rotation to keep his spot warm, and then post-bye, he'll be ready to go.
Update quickly, at least for this channel, where I'm doing at 94.1 FM West Michigan. I'll be live on Monday night. It's going to be, I think, 7 to 9 o'clock. I'll be on the radio. This Thursday is 96.1 FM with the huge show. Next week, Wednesday, I'm leaving to Dallas for a couple days, so I'll be at Chat Sports HQ, probably doing a live stream up there. So that's what we're going on for this week. So just get ready for that. I know I'll be traveling to Dallas on Wednesday. I'll have a video made. It'll be a pre-made video. I'll make it on Tuesday, so you guys will be good to go. And I'll do the same thing on this channel, pre-made video. Now, you've been hearing about the wide receiver 4. What should the Lions do? Rumors are flying around that the Lions could look to add a wide receiver, right, when teams cut down to 53 and or a back-end trade for that. Do you expect them to make a move like that? Do you trust who we have on the roster? What are you thinking?
I mean, right now, I don't think we're in as bad a position as we think. Because, we've got Amon-Ra, we've got J-Mo. If J-Mo takes the step we think he's going to, that's 2,000-yard receivers on your roster already. I think Raymond's going to do perfectly well for us. I think he'll come in and get the yards that he needs to. All we need behind that is serviceable guys. We don't need a third 1,000-yard receiver on the roster. So I fully think they're going to take their time. They've got another preseason game to come. We've seen Isaiah Williams balling out, right? Want to give him a chance to have another impressive game in there. And then once preseason's done, and as you mentioned there, once roster cuts are done from elsewhere, and we have a little look maybe what's going on. Because like I say, the 53 that's announced is very, very rarely the 53 that you come into first game day with. There's still a lot of transactions to be made after that. I would expect them to see that first, and if there's still nothing that fits their liking, if they don't like what they see in 3, then they might do a trade after that and bring somebody in. But with all these guys, they are going to give their own guys every opportunity to succeed first. So I think that's we talk about the same with the edge room. They are going to give all those guys in the edge room first dibs to go out and get that spot before they rush out and trade for somebody and give capital away. So I still expect them to go with the guys they've got here and see what they've got, and then have a look at roster cut downs, and then go to the trade market after that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to give their every opportunity. You got a game here on Saturday. We'll see what, Isaiah Williams, can he play over on the outside? That's what they would like to see. We know what he could do in the slot. I like Isaiah Williams a lot. I just have a feeling they're going to go out and get another guy. And I just feel like number 4 is not really on this roster at this point. But, they're going to give them every opportunity. That's the best way to go. I think the smartest route to go. You never know who can step up in a pinch. Is there anybody that you would like to pick up if they do look in that direction? Is there a said player you want the Lions to look at?
I can't. I must admit, I've not looked really at this moment in time because, again, I like what we have here. Oh, I did. They're all going down injured. Like I thought Antoine Green was going to be that guy. Still holding out hope that maybe DPJ does something there. But I'm just not sure right now. Like I said, I think it's just swapping later guys down the depth chart. But again, we've only lost Josh Reynolds from the 3rd best offense in terms of total yardage last year. Like, people are making it, you'd think we'd lost all our starters and we were returning like 10% of our production from last year. I just don't think it's that big of a deal right now for us. Obviously, if someone's hurt, then maybe, but we've got plenty of cap space to go out there and get somebody if need be. I feel they'll go the trade route if so. They'll get someone specific. So like you say, Brad and Dan have a very specific type of guy. It's not just don't look at a body and go, you'll do. You've got to fit the mental bit as well. So I don't know right now. I will have to wait and see what other teams cut, because there are some names flying around, but you just never know, with all the hype and misdirection and stuff around this time of year. So ask me again in a week when everyone gets cut.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people sitting on there watching cut day, right? Who's going to get cut? We'll be breaking that down for sure on here as well as your channel, I'm sure. I guarantee it. You may be
we do a live during it, so we go live for the day, and then as it breaks, we discuss it.
So he'll be live for it. Go ahead and be live on Roar to Lions UK on that day. That's what they're going to get going on there. It's going to be good stuff, and we get to see what's going to happen right there. I know for me it's more the injury concern for wide receiver, right? It's more depth. I'm not concerned on game day if everybody's out there, right? There's only 11 people you can have on offense, and 5 of those guys are going to be linemen, so you can only have so much. But if there is an injury to a St. Brown or injury to a Jamison Williams, then we got an issue right there. I see your face, you look like so go ahead and say what you're about to say.
No, I was just looking at some of the comments in there and that. So that was nothing that you were saying. I was in the chat having a look.
Okay.
In there. So but yeah, I think what other people don't understand as well is having Gibbs and Varkey helps here, because they're both genuine receiving options for us as well. We got LaPorta in there, LaPorta. We got Mitchell. We've got plenty in the tank here. So like, again, if we're looking for depth, Jimmy Gibbs can go in there, get 400, 500, 600 yards in a season through the air if he wants. Varkey looks like he could do a few hundred in there. We've got plenty of options. We don't rely on a star man per se. Now, Amon-Ra obviously is our star, but we don't have like that Stephon Diggs or Devontae Adams type. We spread the ball out to a lot of different targets, which is why our offense is so dangerous. One bit goes down, someone steps up. So
I like this one. Put Varkey and Gibbs in the same play. That rattles their cages. I 100%.
Two back set.
Two
back set. Are they going to be a receiver? Are they going to be a running back? Or you've just got no idea? Or just go completely old school and play the wing tee and run the triple on someone. But yeah, it would be like you can do so much with them, and the opposition just don't know what's coming. Farkey's a gadget guy, and Gibbs is both. Give it him as just a straight out running back. He's still great. So
yeah, that would be really, really nice to see out there. You have Gibbs at running back, Varkey then goes out wide, or vice versa, and you're just, as a defense, you have to be pulling your hair out, because that would be hard to defend. You got to say that right there, and I agree with you, man. I think he's going to be utilized. Gibbs is going to be utilized. Gibbs is. I know people are injured or worried about his injury. He's fine. He'll be playing week 1. He's got a hamstring. It's nothing serious. A lot of misleading tweets and Twitter out there that said that he was done for. No, it's not serious. It's just a normal hamstring issue, so you don't have to worry about that. He'll be good to go there on week 1. He ain't gonna play in preseason. He ain't played any. So what do you think about preseason week 3, man? You want to play? Do you want to play the starters on week 3 preseason?
I mean, no, I don't think. I think we had this discussion last week where I said I wanted to see them a bit last week, but that was under the reasoning that I thought that like the backup running backs, the backup wide receivers were not getting a fair shot at it, because like Sudfeld was out there throwing, and like they just kept getting stuffed against the Giants and nothing was going. But in that Chiefs game, we saw Zonovan Knight play well. We saw Sione Varkey play well at running back, and then receivers. We have multiple receivers do really well on the day. So I think we've sort of found that niche now where we don't need to put the starters out there, at least not when it comes to the receivers and the offensive line and stuff like that. As long as they continue to be competitive, we still need a competitive game 3. We still want to sort this wide receiver room out for all. We still want to answer these questions about the offensive line as well. Again, still lots of questions to be had with that. So, and then on defense, like I will make this. Like I said, any edge not named Aiden Hutchinson needs to play. I'm just not a fan of letting Davenport waltz his way into this team just by doing training. Like, I think he's got to earn it. Pascal had to go out there in week 2 and earn it. He did. He
In
forced
the
a fumble.
final minutes
He
of
looked
the
pretty
game.
good. Yeah, like Pascal went out there, proved it, and did what he could. Houston's obviously had his bone bruised, but send them all out. Make them earn that spot opposite Hutch. I'd still do that. I still think they've got to earn it. And then I think corners tough. Like the secondary is really so tough at the minute. I would let the ones who've been doing very well ball out, like Stephen Gilmore, Lawrence Strickland, Brandon Joseph. I would let them have a lot of the game because I think Stephen Gilmore can crack this roster. I would take Stephen Gilmore over the likes of Kindle Vildor or Dorsey. I would. I think he's ready to go. I certainly think that Brandon's ready to go. Strickland may be, depending on what they classify Branch as, but give these guys the chance to go out there and cement themselves on the roster. Because I just think they're so close, and do that with them.
Michael, you talked a little bit about it in the beginning already, about DJ Reader getting back potentially by Sunday. No starters week 3. Yeah, I think only selected starters like you. I'm with you, man. Look, I like to see Marcus Davenport out there. I'm not fully on board. I like this. If James Houston can go, obviously, like you said, the back end of the corners, there's a lot I already know. Put the guys that we don't really know them. I don't care about winning. I don't care about losing. I want to see. I don't even want to really see Vaki. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think I've seen enough from him. So there's Van Knight, Knight out there. You can see Jamar Jefferson. There's Jake Funk. There's other running backs you can utilize. Still want to see Hendon Hooker because he needs the reps. Don't want to see Sudfeld, even though we're going to see Sudfeld. It is what it is.
We're not allowed to be too happy, Mike.
What's that?
We're not allowed to be too happy.
Caleb Williams is a problem. He's looking very good so far. Well, he's a quarterback that's going to be started for the Chicago Bears. And I don't think he's going to be a bust or anything, but I don't expect him to go out there and be CJ Stroud this year. Could he eventually be something like that? He could. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think he's going to be it this year. Like, it's just difficult.
I mean, they said he's getting like 4 seconds to throw. You ain't going to get that in the NFL. Like, you're going to get half of that, like not much more than half of that.
Well, he does roll out a lot. He's rolling out and he's extending the play. That's the one thing that fears about any quarterback that is mobile for against the Detroit Lions is these rollouts, extending the play.
He rolls back to the right. I tell you right now, if I'm Terrell Williams, I say to my guy, just stick to the damn left and wait for him to roll because he just rolls out the right every single time without fail, and everyone gets suckered into it. I would just have someone waiting there for him.
Says that Sudfeld has the upper hand. Well, I really don't believe it. I think.
I don't know when he said that. He didn't say it in the one that. I don't think he said it. No, he might have done.
I don't know. I don't believe at all Sudfeld is going to be the backup quarterback. I truly don't. I don't care what is said. The tape speaks for itself, in my opinion.
In terms of a clipboard holder, he's probably better at clipboard holding in the NFL. Like, a clipboard holder does have his role to play, like working scout teams, stuff like that. Of course, Sudfeld's got the advantage in that. But in terms of outright talent on the field for a quarterback, it's like we said ages ago. Like, if during a game Jared Goff gets injured, Nate Sudfeld's probably the one you want to send in who could be ready right away and just do a part of a game with him. If he gets injured during training or something and you've got a full week of prep coming up and you're going to send someone in, you're going to send Hooker in because he's just better. Like, situationally, This is all dependent here. I think with how many roster problems we're going to have with these depth corners, if I'm like axing the likes of Stephen Gilmore or Zonovan Knight or something like that, I'm not doing it at the expense of Nate Sudfeld, thank you. I'd rather just carry 2 quarterbacks and, allocate a valuable spot to somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. I am with you, man. I'll be the same way. Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, it'd be hard. It'd be really. I'd shocked if he was not QB2. I'd be stunned. I'll just put it that way, because from what we've seen, you've seen the growth, you've seen the ceiling of Hendon Hooker. His is up there. Sudfeld doesn't have it. We already know. Like we've seen this guy play. He's an old vet. We've had it with the Sudfelds. 30 years old, enough for me. Go ahead and go in a different direction. And that's Hendon Hooker. What are you looking? So let's see. Hooker sounds like he's trending up in Motor City. Dan Campbell's eyes. Hey, what's up, Lions Talk Live? Yeah, well, he is. He's trending up in everybody's eyes, and that's the way it should be. Right? Like he's getting better and better, so it should be. No doubt about it. Yeah. So I mean, that's it right there. If you guys got questions, throw it in the comment section. #Lions. #whatever. And that's what CJ Stroh's a good situation. Texas to do with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a pretty good situation too, though. Like, I'm not like I get it that there's Lions fans, the Bears fans really like to rip us up, and so we go back and forth. But if you want to be real about this, they're not going to be a bad team. I think they're an 8-9 win football team, and they're going in the right direction.
Yeah. They've fast-tracked their rebuild. They're trying to buy in everybody and anybody to go now, and that's the way they want to do it. Fine, but again, he's a rookie. Like very few rookies, even rookies come in on good teams and do this. They're not.
Yeah,
it takes time to acclimatize, and you're in a tough division. Like us and the Packers, we are very good teams. Even the Vikings with Darnold can potentially be all right. And they've won the division more recently than they have. It's not an easy division to just come in and... I mean, I know they've got a really... What is it? The third easiest strength of schedule in the entire NFL, which is the prize you get for finishing last. So, of course, they're going to win some games. So they're not going to face many good teams. But in conference, they will struggle. We all struggle. We struggled last year. We struggled to beat the Bears, even though we were much better. We struggled to beat... We got our ass handed to us by the Packers. I think we're a better team than the Packers. The Vikings at weak strength gave us 2 tough games for some parts, and we're the better team. So
I think it's Vikings this year. Even though we did it last year, I think their trend is, man. That losing JJ McCarthy was brutal for them, man.
I want to go 6-0. They've all been very mouthy this offseason. If there's any season we could go 6-0 against the NFC North, this would be the year I'd want to do it. Put them all back.
I don't know, man. That's going to be tough to do that. That's going to be tough. Who's more likely to get cut, Houston, Pascal, or Ukwu? Pascal's not getting cut. I'd say Ukwu has more likely to get cut than James Houston, but Houston's is at the end. So if I'm going to do it, the most likely to get Ukwu, then Houston, and then Pascal is the least likely. Pascal's not getting cut. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree in that order. Pascal's only in year 3, let's not forget. So he's still got 2 years of his rookie deal to go, and he's been hampered by injury. So, like, he's at this minute in time, he's taking like the Ife Melifonwu route, like injury plagued first couple of years, struggling to get consistency together. Hopefully, year 3, you're going to see it from him, and he's going to get it together. Houston's the same. Like, Houston's just been plagued by injury. He never got to show what he could do last year after the ankle injury, and it's kind of too late in the year to try and fire him up and get him up to playoff standards. So, I think both of them are going to be great. I like Ukwu. I wouldn't want to cut Ukwu. Again, it really sort of annoys me that guys like Nate Lynn was absolutely balling out and then got hurt, but Ukwu's been playing very well. Agude's been playing very well. And then... again, I'm not using him again, but Davenport's just been sat on his ass doing nothing in terms of the games, and he's going to make a roster spot. I don't really like it. I would take these guys if I could, because I think they've earned the spot, but there's only so many spots to have.
Yay. What percentage do you give Betts to make the 53-man roster? I'm going to give it about 5%. I don't think he's making the roster. I know a lot of people are going to be mad with me. I don't think he's making the roster. I don't think Caleb is trash. Let's see. #Mike, thoughts on Manu? Look way better against the Chiefs than he did against the Giants. I think it's a year 2. He's going to be... He is a project, folks. And I know a lot of people say he looked great this past week. I know he's a project. I already know this is the case. It's going to be the Broderick Martin. The coaching staff has made this pretty clear. Yeah, he played better, but he was going against some scrubby people. He is a project player. He's a rookie. He's going to have good, and he's going to have bad. That's why he's a project player. But I'm happy he did better, 100%. What do you think about Giovanni Manu for this year?
He's miles off. He's so far away at this moment in time. Like, I know people said he did better in week 2, but he still struggled against the speed rush. He was still struggling with his hands. Like, guys, and like you say, they weren't first stringers, were giving him a lot of trouble. So he's going to be just fine. Like, this is all about expectations, and there should be no expectation put on him that he's going to come into this team this year and blow up like Sorsdal didn't last year. We picked Sorsdal at the same point, and Sorsdal technically played at a higher level of football than Manu did. And, he's still working his way in coming into year 2 here. It's all about expectation with these guys. Sounds like I've been nasty about Manu. It's not. I'm just being realistic.
He's a player.
Exactly. He is exactly where he's meant to be. He is miles behind NFL level. And that's
guess
fine.
What? His ceiling?
It is, yeah. And you would hope after time, like Sorsdal's the one this year. We need to see that they can develop these day 3 guys into something for us, and Sorsdal's the one who needs to take the leap this year to put faith in the coaches that they can develop these day 3 guys, because we haven't invested heavily in our O-line backup in the draft. We've gone day 3, so they think they can do it by picking day 3 guys up instead of higher grade picks. That's fine, but you've got to start to see it pay off eventually. This is Sorsdal's year to see it start paying off. Manu, just let the guy develop, sit him, hopefully don't play him. There's no need to play him. I'd still use Skipper beforehand. Jacoby Jones, if we take him with us, I'd use him before. Just chill with him.
This is for you, Em. Yay. Good luck to you, Fred. We definitely don't want injuries here. We're talking about preseason week 3, so I wish you nothing but the best over there.
I just hope it's better than the last 2. I just hope it's better than the last 2. Do you remember that draw against the Steelers?
No, we gotta have
in the 3-13-1. That was the worst game of all time. And then we played them in preseason the year after, and that was probably the second worst game of all time. So I'm just hoping we get something mildly entertaining with the Steelers this time. But I'm really looking forward to seeing them. I love Steelers drafts year in, year out. They draft some incredibly good players that I like. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. Should be fun.
Yeah, man. Let's have a fun game. I don't care who wins or loses. Let's be entertained. That's what it's all about. At least last week's game was entertaining. The first one we watched was not. They got Justin Fields, and we get to see Russell Wilson. So, they're battling out for their quarterback, so they'll get some good playing time. See, Ukwu is looking good. I think it's going to be more practice squad personally. Not Trashel Williams, but he's not done against the ones. And they're going to give him opportunity over there on the outside. Hopefully this coming weekend. I want to see many times the Bears burn the Lions puppy. Soft defense with big play. Yeah, this is not the real. Let's see. I want to see how many times the Bears burn the Lions. That's not the real broski. That's a fake one. I hope we keep Lynn in our teams, and after injury, developmental is the key, 100%. And I know a lot of people get up mad about development. I'm like, folks, this is not the Lions we've seen in the years past. You can actually draft a guy, and he doesn't have to play his rookie year. You can actually kind of slowly develop him in the right direction. We did that Broderick Martin. Now he's going to get playing time. Probably next year he'd be even much better. This is what they do. Manu's miles off. Pass Poe looked very solid in terms of his raw ability. Technique was very good. Sorsdale is manhandled. Manu is further along than I thought. I think he's miles off. I think he's a way off. Remember, he's coming from British Columbia, from Ohio. Or not Ohio, Canada, British Columbia, Canada, where he's going against less than D3 type of competition. So just let's be patient with him. Sorsdale, he's got to get better for sure. And I'm not going to argue with that.
Sorsdale did play over 70 snaps in that game as well. Yeah. Like, dude was there start to finish. But
he needs
they're both projects. Like, they are not. You wouldn't expect to see them really fully influencing things before year 3. Like, that's the point with these guys. They're so far behind that it takes time to develop them. Again, it's not a knock on them, but
no, because
you can see with
put Manu out today, you put him out,
exactly.
Right? He's going to have a good play. He's going to have a really bad play, and what's going to happen? Draft bust. This guy sucks.
Oh, get crucified.
But
for linemen,
first game, bust.
For linemen, you can have one bad play and 50 good plays, and everyone will focus on the one bad play.
Yes.
It's just that's kind of the nature of the beast with it. But they are both going to be absolutely fine. But I think we just do need to calm down. He's not going to be like, go back and watch the Giants game and see how much he struggled. It was terrible. And there were ones in this one where he struggled.
He make
as
improvements,
well,
and that's what you want.
It's fine. Yeah, of course it is. The more snaps he gets, just play him every game. But I mean, play him every snap on Sunday. Like guys
I
like
have no
him,
problem with that. Exactly.
and Hooker.
Yep.
You know, you want the guys who've not had much football. This is where it's so valuable for them. Just keep putting them out there, giving them reps. It'll help the development.
Have Manu and Sorsdale out there the whole time, and we like you. That's what we like.
Yeah, exactly. We need to establish his O-line depth, so keep him out there. That's what he needs.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to rookies, again, I'm very patient. I know a lot of people are not patient with some of these guys. I give them 3 years. Like, this is James Mitchell's 3rd year. Like, he's got to do something, right? So Giovanni Manu, he's got a couple years to go, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Real excited to see, especially when he is developed. Oh my God, with his size, and he probably could be used too on game days, an extra lineman right now because he's so freaking big.
Bring heavy packages, yeah, like what Skip does. Like what Skip does, you use them heavy packages, stuff like that. Yeah, you can get them ways on the field. But again, this is a great thing with us. Like, we got used to seeing all our rookies on the field first year when Brad first got here because our team was that bad. They all could get on the field like Rodrigo. We needed him to play linebacker every snap, but now we're in this lovely situation where we don't have to. Day 3 picks are meant to be sat and developed. That's the whole point of them. Like, we don't have to chuck Rodrigo. And like the Sorsdals had a nice year to sit and learn and develop, and now you can start integrating him into the team a little bit more. You know, the same with what Manu will be next year. You will integrate him in a little bit more to this team, and that's the great thing. Like Broderick, you'll see him more in year 2. Having him being able to sit a year, you know, get stronger, learn his technique a bit. It's already paid off. You've seen how well Broderick's playing in preseason. It's night and day between what he was last year, because we've not had to rush him in and we've been able to coach him first before exposing him to the field. Like, every player takes time. Even round 1 picks. Like, look at all the quarterbacks who flame out because they're put in so early and they're not ready for it.
Go ahead and smash that like button. You haven't done so. It's really easy to do so. Also, if you got questions, throw it in the comment section. #Lions, #Ant-Man, #Man on a rock, because he was on a gigantic rock, but the rock looks small because he's 6'5". That's the Ant-Man. So if you got questions, throw it in the comment section for us to look at. Anything else you're looking for the Steelers game, right? We're not looking for injuries. We all don't want injuries. We don't want to see really too much starters play except for selected players like you're saying, maybe like a Marcus Davenport or something. For me, I just don't want to see much injuries. I would like to see some selected players, and then I just want to see a lot of depth guys just get reps. Really, really just a ton of reps for these guys who could battle it out for that wide receiver. You know, who can step up there, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for. What about you?
Special teams has been cheeks for the most part.
Yeah,
which
very
is not like
bad.
us. I want to see much better from now. Obviously, the kicking stuff's changed and that, and a lot is different. But for the most part, our special teams has been really bad, which is not like us. And again, a lot of these players are not going to be on the roster, but the ones who are, especially like, you know, the last 5-6 guys who are getting taken on more for their special team stuff now at this point, you want to see better from them. It doesn't feel like we've really taken advantage of that yet. I'd like to see them carry on giving Bates kicks. I really like the fact that they gave him 4 this week instead of just the 1 against the Giants. They were quite aggressive against the Giants, kept going for it on 4th down, which is fine. But Bates just needs all the kicks he can get, because right now he's brimming full of confidence because we're giving him the opportunity to go out there and play. So I'd like him to get a lot more, just keep him going, keep his confidence up. Outside of that, it's still depth battles here, like offensive line. Like I'm starting to get there. Like Burton at right guard has been really good. Aguakun at center has been really good. Like I've enjoyed what I've seen from them. Jamarco Jones looked pretty good the other day. So I want to see him in again. But hopefully we can get these guys who are going to separate themselves and put them in for offensive line consideration. But I'm feeling a bit better about it now than I have the last few weeks. I say Burton's had 2 very solid games. Aguakun's had 2 very solid games. So maybe these guys can come in and do something this year, which will be good. And then you're just looking, like say, the others, like your corners. you want to see them. Your edges, you want to see them. Just those bits where there's still a few roster question marks. But outside of that, just again, no injuries, nothing crazy. Just a fun game.
I love your take on the coverage for special teams. That needs work, and I want to see that improve significantly on Saturday. Oh my goodness, that's been off the last 2 weeks. Hopefully it is better because that's not good. Is there any position that Detroit should look to sign once cuts start from other teams? Wide receiver, I think, is probably the biggest one that everyone's talking about. Is there any other position you would like them to sign? I'm good with safety, cornerback, linebacker. We could talk about maybe a little bit defensive line. Good with the offensive line, running back, except for wide receiver. We do wide receiver, tight ends. We're good. Quarterback, we're good. What are you thinking?
I think receiver might be it.
It's about it.
I mean, I don't think, because if it's going to be a D end, I want to start in D end, and you're not going to get that from roster cut down. So I'd rather trade for that. I think in terms of what we might need, it's just wide receivers. I'm happy with the depth battle in the secondary. More than happy with the depth battle at linebacker. More than happy with the depth at D tackle. Maybe O-line. If like one of these veteran journeymen gets cut, like just because like a team's going young or something like that, and there's not anything necessarily wrong with him, like I would look at still bringing one or two of those things. I still think we could do with a little bit more experience, but yeah, maybe wide receiver and maybe offensive line, maybe like a tried and tested center. But even then, like Michael Neese has been doing well as well. So yeah, those would be the two.
Key Ozzy just dropped a funny comment. He says, sorry, I'm at work and I'm doing a little bit of work, but no, the guy who's the guest on the top right, that's the Ant-Man. Isn't this the same guy who was on Coach's channel earlier this morning? Yes, because he is on everywhere and he's trying to get his points across and his in Aurora Lines UK up there. And that's what he does, man. He's on everybody's podcast. He's just
we're part of LNU. We help one another out. We all appear in play. It's just that Coach has me on Tuesdays because it's his that's the spot I have now on Tuesdays, and obviously we do these shows on Tuesdays as well. So try and spread it out. So
and what time is it for him in the morning? What time do you go live? Because it's way early for me. What time is it for you over there?
It's midday when I go live with him here.
That's great.
Here now it's 20 to 7 in the evening. So I try not to saturate, but like we go around and all help one another, don't we? So
that's well, that's awesome, man. That's great time. The better timing than what it used to be. I remember you were telling me that. Do you think Nate Lynn will be put on IR for the season? Nate Lynn. What do you think?
I mean, is this part of the IR thing where we can maybe, because it's like what they're doing with Commish, where they're putting him on IR, but not the season-ending type. I don't know with Nate Lynn. I think the only trouble with someone like that is this is a bad injury for him with his shoulder, and he's an SCS undrafted free agent, so it's going to be even more difficult for him. Like, you won't be able to bring him back and use him this season. I feel like where he's at, we'd probably get first dibs on him next year if he wanted to come back and try again. But he'll certainly go on to a season-ending IR. Like, his shoulder's done. I don't know whether he's been done already, because we've got that many IRs at the minute that we'll start paying people off soon. He might be one of them, and we'll just welcome him back next year type. But I think he's done. Like, his injury was bad, so
yeah. Artur, #@LinesNation. Have you guys ever looked how massive our line is getting in terms of height? Colby is starting to look like a midget. We're bordering on what used to be too tall in blue the past. Yeah, we do got a big offensive line. Giovanni Manu, and then you got Dan Skipper out there. They're huge, gigantic men.
Yeah, they are. And like he says, generally the taller they are, the easier it is to get under. But I think there's a correlation with, like, you see, when we're doing draft prep with edges and stuff like that, everybody wants the 6'4", 6'5" guy who's 250, 260, whatever, who's as athletic as anything. Like, I think the DNs are getting bigger as well. So I don't know, maybe there's a correlation there between it.
Paul
for
Shaw
the
has a great
tackles.
question here. Who gets more touchdowns in the year, St. Brown or LaPorta? Great question. Because I think they both had 10. So you know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with Sam LaPorta. I think he get a little bit more. What do you got?
I agree. I think St. Brown's the yak master, right? But generally, the things with yak masters is they get the stat yardage, but not necessarily the touchdowns all the time. Like, who would you rather be guarding in an end zone, like Amon-Ra or LaPorta? LaPorta's just a nightmare matchup. So I don't know. It depends. If we get into a lot of short yardage red zone situations, then I would say it'd be LaPorta. But then also, people know about LaPorta now. I think last year he probably got the rub of, oh my God, like no one knew about him. Now defenses are going to be focused. They'll focus on him as a primary weapon for us this year, whereas I think last year they may not have done so much. So maybe he's going to have a bit more to do. Maybe that helps Amon-Ra and
It's going to help out if they want to. They double team him.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's going to get open because Jared Goff will just sit there with his gigantic, the Great Wall of Detroit protecting him. Will just pick you apart with whoever's open. You don't care.
I mean, statistically, can LaPorta do it again? Like there cannot be many rookie tight ends.
Dude, he got almost 1,000. I'll say he gets over 1,000 and he gets over 10 touchdowns.
But if he does that again, there can't be that many rookie tight ends who've come into the league and put up like 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns
that may
in
be
2
the
seasons.
Best start of all tight end. Like if he does that at like 2 years.
I mean, like Freiermuth had a really
second year. Yeah.
I mean, like Freiermuth had that really good first year at Pittsburgh, and then last year he sort of regressed a little bit. But I think they knew about him a bit more. But like, I would have to look. But I think certainly 2-year tight ends. If he does the same production again, it's going to be crazy. But
his moves off the line of scrimmage makes him so good, and it's hard to stop. He's so good with his feet, like that. It's so quick.
Let's not be greedy, Mike. Like they both get 10. Monty gets 10. Gibbs gets 10. J-Mo gets 10.
No, like, who's greedy?
We'll just have 5 guys. We'll just have 5 guys who get more than 10 each, and then everyone else can sprinkle in a little bit as well. And that's like Varkey can get 10 as well. He can have every one of them gets 10.
Hey, but Khalif Raymond get another 10 too. No, we're just gonna do a touch. Every single drive this year is going to be a touchdown, no matter what. Touchdown, boom, all the way. I love.
All right, that's a good thing. How many guys get 10 plus touchdowns this year on this team, Mike? Let's do that. How many guys get 10 plus touchdowns?
St. Brown, Sam LaPorta, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, no Monty.
I think he's going to get a little bit more. I think it's going to go a little bit of reverse now. It was like, I felt like it was more 60-40 Montgomery last year. I think it's going to be 60-40 now. Jahmyr Gibbs, still very similar. They do like every other drive, but I could see Gibbs too as in the slot as well. A little bit more.
Monty, Gibbs, J-Mo, Sam Brown, LaPorta.
Jesus.
5 of them get 10.
That's a lot, but I would love it. I would love it. Dan Skipper may be my favorite player in this team. I love Dan Skipper, man. Dan Skipper is the GOAT. This guy is hilarious. He's funny. He's big, and he is definitely embodiment of a lion. He's so pure of a soul. I love this guy to death, man. He's going to finally make the roster, right? The 53-man roster. Let's see. Go ahead.
I think Rodrigo's there for me. I love Rodrigo's my favorite player.
Rodrigo's your favorite. Rodrigo. Yeah. Rodrigo. Who is your favorite player on the Detroit Lions? Current player. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Mine is going to go Dan Skipper. He's my favorite. He's not fair. I've got Rodrigo on the field. He's just my favorite. This guy is the embodiment of greatness.
I know I'm 6'5", but I like the small underdog who defies the odds, and that's Rodrigo in a nutshell. So,
hey, that's Dan Skipper, but he's gigantic.
He's taller than me.
He's 6'8".
He's taller and bolder than me.
He didn't make the roster, and he was in tears, man. He's got a long shot.
He's taller. He's bolder. Better looking. Like, man's got everything.
Dude, Dan Skipper's a stud. If I could have one guy on the podcast from the current team, it's gonna be Dan Skipper all day. It's gonna be him. I'd love to hear because I feel like he leaves his emotions on his hands, and you could see it. Like he was so mad in the Dallas game. I didn't ever know. And then when he didn't make the roster, he's teared up. And then he gets so fired up when they're chanting Jared Goff in the locker room. I love it, man. He leaves his emotions on his sleeve, and that's my type of guy right there. I could follow that guy through a brick wall, man. Dan Skipper, and when he retires, I hope he becomes a Lions coach, just like Don Muhlbach. Hutchinson's my favorite Lion. You'd think that this guy is an ego, but Hutchinson's the total opposite of that. He's a super humble guy. And that's crazy to think the second pick in the draft, humble as much as he is, but he is. LaPorta had over 200 snaps in the slot last season. More this year? I don't know. We'll see. He's going to be the main target now, so they'll probably put him all over the field, but I can see him in the slot quite a bit for sure. What do you think?
Well, like I said, I think they're just all going to get used all over the place. Like, you've got LaPorta, you've got Gibbs, and you've got Varkey now to move wherever the hell you want to. Because hell, LaPorta even plays in the backfield. They give him carries as a running back. So you've got like this little Bermuda triangle of guys who opposition's like, what the hell's going on in there? We've no idea. So
I know, it's because his friend Johnson, his offense is creative. It's quite difficult.
Well, that's the great thing. We've got the traditional role players in there. We've got our traditional receivers, our traditional running backs, but we've got a nice sprinkling of, flair in there as well with these guys, so we can mix it up. But at its core, we are a smash mouth. We're going to run it over your football team, but we're like Beauty and the Beast rolled up into one. With a Beast who runs over you, but we've got the Beauty that we can put out these nice Shanahan-like plays that just completely fool you, and we're one of the best teams at doing it.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. And I'm glad that we don't predict anything, because that means defenses have a hard time doing that. Because I remember in years past, I'm sure you being a Lions fan, Patricia, or any of the eras, you're like, yeah, I know what they're going to do here.
Oh, like, yeah. Don't know. Yeah, the run up the middle for 1 yard.
Pass, punt. Run, pass, punt. Run, run back.
Yeah. I've had enough of that to last a lifetime. Thank you. So no.
Where will LaPorta rank among tight ends at the end of the year? I don't think this is a homer take. I'm gonna say 1. I think that highly am.
He's a top 5 tight end now. He could be top.
Kelsey's getting.
The thing is, Kittle and Kelsey are going nowhere though right now. I think he could be established number 3. Like, he's the next guy. When those two are gone, he's the guy who takes on the mantle from them going forward. So I think he's top 5 now. I think he will be the number 3 by the time the season, unless one of Kittle or Kelsey gets injured. But let's just assume they carry on being like they are for this year. Like, he'll be tight end 3, and I think that's fair.
I'll go at 1. I just, I think really highly of him and LaPorta. I know Kittle and, obviously Kelsey. They're great. A little bit older though. I think it's time for the LaPorta year 2. Even though it's year 2, I still.
If you can beat the sophomore bounce, like the sophomore bounce is the one thing, year 2 that gets so many of these guys right. Like, he's going to have to deal with the fact now that he is. He's a target. He's a target for opposition DCs. They're going to be game planning all over for him. They're going to have more rangy, athletic linebackers in to come in and cover in. They're going to scheme for him. Like, can he, as a year 2 guy, because he's still a rookie, and we will lose sight of that because he's had such a good year. But he will have ups and downs before he reaches where he's going to. So. If he can get through this year 2 and not really have that many problems, then the ceiling is incredibly, incredibly high. So
great conversation. We get to 9 drinks talking about how tall people are. And my guy Artur says he's 6 foot and he's a stub. Well, in reality, you got my man Ant-Man who's 6'5". So in reality, I'm like this.
I've got 2 parents over 6 foot tall. So.
Jeez, man, you get lumberjacks over there. They said the Giants were not real. I do not agree. We got one talking to me right now. Freaking 6'5", huge, man. I'm looking way up there. Let's see. We have so many weapons offense. Good luck picking one guy. And that's the problem with defenses, right? it's going to be difficult for them to stop because you got so many different weapons. It's just everywhere. Everyone's a playmaker. It's crazy. Even Vaki's a playmaker. Like, who's not a playmaker for the Lions right now that is a specialty player? There's everyone's a playmaker.
And the way they've built it is really good. Do you remember, I think it was year 2, when we went on the run where we got absolutely twonked by the Cowboys and the Patriots and scored like 3 points because we lost St. Brown and Swift and there was nobody else. And like without them two, our offense had nothing and we were going nowhere. And as soon as he came back, we were good again.
Yep.
But that's how little, when Brad started this, that's how little variation we had to this offense. We didn't have so many versatile weapons at the time, and when you did lose a St. Brown, that was it. We just couldn't score points at all. Now you've got St. Brown, you've got J-Mo who's coming into his own, you've got LaPorta, you've got Gibbs, you've got Monty. Like if a wide receiver goes down, the running back room is good enough to put the team on its back and do what it needs to. If the running backs go down, Goff can air it out and the receivers can do the job they need to. This is a multifaceted offense now that doesn't rely on one or two singular people to help it run. And that's how far we've come. And that's what I mean. We've got in the established guys first. Then we've started putting in the gadget players afterwards, which is what makes us so good because we're now creating this inventiveness, which can help circumnavigate injuries to the main guys. So where we were and where we've come to in 3 short years, it just cannot be understated how quickly this thing's been turned around.
How long will it take for the defense to play as a unit? I'm not sure Arnold will be ready coming back from his injury, start week 1. He should be starting week 1. That's what I was told him. I haven't heard anything on Carlton Davis and Ennis Rakestraw on him. Good to go for week 1. I don't know how long it's going to take to gel because we haven't seen a whole lot of the starting unit at all, right? So injuries, that's been a big factor. I think there's going to have good moments and they're going to have bad moments. Maybe halfway through the season, they're starting to gel, depending on injuries as well.
I think we're in a nice position this year because 3 of the first 4 are at home. And as we've seen with our home advantage, it's incredibly difficult to be. The team plays better than the sum of its parts at home. And, when you've got 60,000 fans going crazy, like the opposition can't hear the cadences, causing them issues with penalties, etc. I think the defense will feed off the home fans to start with. I think they'll start better maybe, and then they get the bye. So they have a month, they have a bye, they come back, and then really they can get into the meat and bones of things when we've got that horrible road trip. So we've got those 4 weeks where they can get the continuity going together whilst working in a friendly environment. I think it works well for us. When those hard road trips come around, I reckon they should be about on the same page with one another, and they should be well rested as well.
Guzman says, love your show. Thanks for feeding our Lions Jones. No problem at all, man. We love Lions. We're doing it for ourselves. So thank you for joining and taking the time out of your day to listen. Reader will be late to the party. It's going to be next man up week 1, few spots. I think he'll get in there. He's not going to be in there the rotation the whole time. I think he'll have selected amount of reps just to slowly work him in because he's not in football shape. But we definitely got next man up mentality with Levi Nwuzurike, Broderick Martin, Kyle Pecco, all that stuff. The hype before this season opener is going to be huge. It's huge right now. Yeah, it's going to absolutely be huge. And it's exciting. I can't wait to get this game going. The air traffic control crew is just getting started. Week 1, the Rams are going down in flames. I really hope so, Bo Booth. That would be great for the start of the season. Psst, Mikey, Ant-Man, psst, hi, what's up? Grandizer12 in the building. One pride back to you. Hello from Melbourne, Florida. Guy, I'm late, but I hit that like button anyways. Hashtag FGB. Bobo, appreciate you. Yeah, you did come in a little bit late, but that's okay. You can always rewatch. Ant-Man, we're about to get off. Tell the folks where they can find you.
So, yeah, you can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We are a group of Detroit Lions fans from across the pond. So if you want to come and get your Lions news and views from a British perspective, then come check us out, Roar of the Lions UK.
We'll be live on my personal channel at noon on Thursday, switching it to noon on Saturday for the Lions-Steelers watch party. 94.1 FM Monday night. I think this Thursday could be 96.1 FM, The Huge Show. Next week, I am traveling to Dallas on Wednesday, and I'll be back on Friday. Expect videos will be made, even though I am not going to be actually in Zealand. I'll be in Dallas. Probably do a live stream while I'm there. I expect it. With that said, folks, adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they don't let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.